Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, and tonight was AEW Dynamite. As far as tonight's Dynamite does go, I thought it was a pretty good show. I thought there was some cool surprises and a nice main event that saw some, I guess you could say, long-term story building with Swerve and Keith Lee. And yeah, I thought overall this was not, I wouldn't call it a great episode of Dynamite or anything, but I would say this is a pretty good episode of AEW Dynamite. But Luke, over here, what did you think of the show?
Now, I thought it was just all right. I didn't think it was I didn't think it was all that great or anything. I thought there was some parts that was just kind of boring in my opinion.
Well,
but
yeah.
Which we'll get into that later. For example, like the women's stuff. I mean, I feel like they've been doing that same stuff for 4 weeks now.
Yeah, no, that I didn't like at all. It was kind of boring. Like you said, boring.
But I thought the main event was cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool, but I kind of felt like it was a little inconsistent in my opinion.
I could see that. I could see that for sure. But we got some good returns and surprises and whatnot. So that was really cool. But with that, if you are guys watching us, thank you for watching, whether you're watching later or you're watching live, whether you're watching live on YouTube, youtube.com/PW Unlimited, or you're watching later on YouTube, or watching live on Twitch, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. I highly appreciate all of that. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and they always give you one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to head over to YouTube and support us over there by becoming a channel member. As a channel member, you get early access to news, early access podcast episodes, early access to non-news videos, and so much more. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're over there buying Dead Island 2, whether you're getting Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which I'm super excited for, you're claiming one of the free games like Dying Light Enhanced Edition or Shapes, or you're getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, and Fall Guys, well, use this code right down here, way down there, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you'll be supporting us at no extra cost. Again, use code PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Now, with that, wrong button, we got Dynamite to talk about. As far as Dynamite does go, Excalibur welcomed us to the show alongside Tony Schiavone and Taz. We then got entrances for our opening match, which was Darby Allin versus Shane Strickland. I liked this match a lot. I thought this was a great opening match. There was a couple of times where I didn't quite care for Darby's setup of spots. Like Darby, you can literally tell, the one where he was hanging from the bottom ropes by his feet, and he was supposed to dangle over the apron so Swerve can jump on him. I didn't quite like that one because you can just tell he was setting himself up and sliding into position slowly. But other than that, this match was really good outside of a couple different spots. And so they did this whole thing on Rampage where they merged Swerve's Mogul affiliates and the Embassy. But what did they really merge? They made a tag team with Brian Cage and Swerve. Where's the other guys from the Embassy? The other 6-man tag champs? Where are the guys from the Mogul affiliates? Where's all of that? I don't get that at all. They merged them, and then they didn't even bring out half the people.
That's supposed to be a rip on WWE?
Oh, most likely. Most likely. I even think they even used the whole 51% thing.
I will say this. It's getting a little creepy that Tony Khan just keeps trying to make WWE references every week, because it feels like he's just focusing on trying to get back at WWE and not focusing on his own stuff.
Right.
Do you agree?
Oh, 100%. Trust me.
Getting a little creepy.
Go watch my SmackDown.
It's getting a little creepy.
Go watch my SmackDown review when I found out about this in real time, and I lost my shit because I was like, Tony Khan can't help himself. Like always,
I mean,
gotta
at this
try and
point-
rip off WWE or make fun of WWE. Go for
At
it.
this point, it's getting a little creepy. So
A little bit. So, but regardless, I did like this match. These two have worked together so many times, like on the Indies and in the Northeast or Northwest, where they do come from, because they're both Washington boys. So, really, really good match. But I gotta fix one of the polls really fast. All right, there we go. But as far as the match does go, basically the whole first part of this match was just Darby getting the piss beat out of him. Like Darby got his butt whooped. Strickland came out with Prince Nana and Brian Cage after they joined or merged, like I said, Mogul affiliates in the Embassy. Allin wasted no time with a float over stunner and a low tope outside. Strickland avoided a coffin drop. But he didn't avoid a somersault senton to the floor by Darby. Strickland then fought back but as he balanced on the guardrail, Allin knocked him off and hit a charge. Allin tried some offense with the steel steps, but got his feet swept from under him. Strickland then pulled the belt off of Allin and whipped him with it while Sammy and Ty Mello watched backstage. And I go, where's the goddamn ref? He's whipping him with the belt. How is that not a DQ? How is that not a DQ? Where's the ref? Like, just not paying attention? So Allin shot a double leg, but Strickland responded with a knee to the spine and then one to the face. He busted open Darby from the mouth. Allin bit his way back into this, but ate a thrust kick on the apron. There's then a slingshot double stomp to the floor, which Strickland might have tweaked his ankle on. It looked like he may have hurt himself there, but maybe he was just selling some stuff. I don't know. During the break, Strickland worked over Allin's back and ribs, including a torture rack. Strickland then got hung up in the ropes as Allin took off his boot and bit at Strickland's foot. Allin hooked a knee bar, but Strickland rolled through, and we got a little bit of a slugfest until Strickland blocked a coffin splash into a German suplex. Strickland tried a brainbuster, but Allin countered into a scorpion death drop. He did that in midair and then went right back to the knee bar as Jungle Boy was seen watching backstage as well. Both men then fought on the apron, where Allin hit an incredible poison Rana to the floor. Allin then hit a coffin drop in the ring, but Prince Nana put Strickland's foot on the rope to break the count. Allin then stalked Nana up the ramp until Brian Cage emerged as Allin thought better. He went back to the ring and ate Strickland's house call, and there was a double foot stomp as well for a close 2. Cage then tripped up Allin long enough for Strickland to attempt to use a chair, but thought better of it as the ref was staring right at him, and he said, nope, never mind. Strickland then rolled right into a code red for a 2, but Allin hooked to the Last Supper for the pin. Right after Allin got the pin, MJF's music came out, and out came the world champion. What do you think of the match itself before we get to all the Darby and MJF Sting stuff?
I thought the match was pretty good. If I'm being completely honest with you, I thought it was a good, cool opening match to get the crowd hyped up.
Yeah, I liked it. So MJF comes out soon as the match is over. We go to commercial break, and then we come back. So we come back, and Darby's like in the corner, just sitting there. MJF says that he's in Milwaukee as he congratulates Allin on his win without Sting's help. MJF said that their match at Full Gear 2021 was one of the best in AEW history, and MJF beat him with a headlock takeover. That Allin isn't on his level, the level of the devil. Allin asks if MJF is happy. As 6 years ago, they wrestled in front of 30 people, and MJF was miserable then. He's still miserable now. Allin said he was miserable, but sought out therapy, and it helped him. And he used the money from AEW to buy his parents a house. Sting isn't his father, though. He's one of the best friends that he's ever had. And this is just MJF's 15 minutes of fame. Allin got in MJF's face and said, if he has more to say, keep talking. As MJF called him an arrogant little boy. MJF is sick of the morals of Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara. And I sat here going, what goddamn morals does Sammy Guevara have? He's a heel with the JAS. He said morals is what kill careers. MJF said Allin thinks he's a daredevil, but he's more of a coward. while MJF could care less if he's on his deathbed alone or with anybody by his side. He said he's willing to do whatever it takes to leave a legacy. MJF's legacy will be being the greatest champion of all time, while Allin's will be just simply Sting's little bitch. This is when Sting would make his way out to a huge ovation from the crowd in Milwaukee. Sting said that he doesn't view himself as a daddy daycare kind of guy, but more of a cheerleader. Sting took out pom-poms from his jacket and talked about Cody daycare, as Cody was a cheerleader for MJF, just like Sting is for Darby, just like Ric Flair was for Sting when he started his career. Sting talked about the Crow, the Wolfpack, and the Joker days, and said that he doesn't have a thirst for the world title anymore, as Showtime is almost over for Sting, but it's just starting for Darby. Sting told MJF that Darby Allin will become the AEW World Champion. Mark his words. Allin said that he's on the end of MJF's reign of terror as MJF spat in his face and then bailed. That was good. I thought all three guys actually were really good here, but it was just more of the same from MJF. But the Darby stuff was really, really good. I thought Darby's promo and his passion in the promo, I enjoyed. What'd you think?
Oh, yeah. I thought Darby was pretty well on the mic tonight. Do you think that this might lead to just like a fatal four-way and not just like one of these guys challenging MJF?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be a four-way at Double or Nothing. Could be wrong, but that's what I believe.
Because, like, if it's just going to be one of those guys, then it's already just going to make it seem like just having the other two, like, go out there and try to make it seem like they'll fight MJF, kind of like almost seem pointless, if that makes sense.
No, I get exactly what you're saying. I don't think it's pointless. So, as we move forward, we had Powerhouse Hobbs defending the TNT Championship against Silas Young. Complete squash. Complete and total squash of Silas Young. Not much really happened here. This is basically... Where was I? Saw an inset promo from Hobbs pulling up to the arena in a car gifted to him by QT Marshall last week. And you can just tell this car is getting destroyed. Like, you don't pull it into a parking lot with nothing else around it and like a valet with some nice rope. You go, oh, well, those freaking ropes and the whatever it's called that hold the ropes up, it's going to get smashed on the car. Yeah, nope. I saw this a million miles away. So Hobbs mows down Silas Young with a spine buster, follows it up with the town bidness, kicks up the quick victory. You would have never known that was Silas Young. You would have just thought that was a random ass jobber from nowhere. Nothing happened there. Post-match is where everything happened. So Hobbs and QT dragged Young up the ramp until we saw Wardlow on the big screen walking up to the car in the parking lot. Wardlow would then smash the windows and scratch the car all up before noticing, hey, there's a little forklift over there. Let me grab that forklift. He jumped in the forklift, ran the forks right into the windows, and lifted up the car and flipped it over. Cool. Saw this coming again a million miles away. Wardlow tipped the car completely over. He smirked and then walks off as an angry Powerhouse Hobbs powerbombed Silas Young off the ramp through a table when Wardlow would run out and they start a brawl. Wrestlers and referees and agents tried to break this all up, and then we see Aaron Solo try to go after Wardlow. Did Wardlow kill Aaron Solo tonight? I swear to God. Because he took that powerbomb off the ramp, goes through the first table, but his head hits the second table, and the table doesn't break, and his head just, oh my God, like goes through the table like this. Look at my hand. Here's Aaron Solo, just boom, right through the second table. His head just goes through it, but the table don't break, don't give no nothing. And then they show people checking on Aaron Solo. He's just laying there dead. We don't know if he's selling or not, but oh my God. Like, I feel like they killed Aaron Solo. And the others just disappear and run off. What'd you think?
These spots are like starting to scare me a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Because I keep seeing like
I
keep seeing so many spots like in AEW where like they go like really wrong.
Yeah.
And like I'm just worried somebody's gonna end up paralyzed at this point.
I mean, Anna Jay had a really bad, she broke some ribs with her power bomb off the apron. Vikingo, when he did his springboard 630 deal, when he came down on Kenny through that table, he smacked his head on the apron. Speaking of Vikingo, Conan said in his podcast that he tried telling Vikingo, you need to calm down and like slow stuff down. He's like, Vikingo didn't listen. So I literally had Rey Mysterio go tell Vikingo, calm your shit. But anyways, back to what you were saying about people going to get hurt.
And there was like was it Action Andretti like almost like killed Garcia on that ladder in that like TNT ladder match?
Yes. And then the other ladder match that Dante Martin broke his ankle. The one at ROH show.
Like, somebody's going to end up like really hurt.
Yeah. Like
if these spots keep going on.
Just doing a regular powerbomb on the ramp to Aaron Solo to me would have been just as effective. Just as effective of, I'm going to powerbomb him through a table or two off the ramp. No. We don't need to see unnecessary risk taken like this anymore because they're not going right.
And like another thing is like with this whole like car thing and this like storyline, I honestly don't really like it because they're trying to make it seem like, oh, like Hobbs and like his people kind of like stole the TNT title from Wardlow's vehicle when in reality like that's not what happened in real life though. Like someone like actually like broke into his car and they're trying to make it turn into a storyline, which I don't like it at all.
Yeah, they're taking a real life situation and bringing it into the show, which sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. For me, being someone from California, having friends and knowing people in Oakland and knowing that that's a normal thing in Northern California for stuff like that to happen, it's like, But again, Hobbs is from the area too, so he's cool with it, but I don't know. I'm kind of over this already, and it's barely just started, kind of.
What kind of car did Hobbs drive tonight? That car looked kind of cool. Like
I'm not sure. I wasn't paying too much attention to the car itself, other than once I saw the car, I was like, yeah, that car's getting destroyed. I think it was some sort of a Cadillac. Don't quote me. I could be wrong. So, actually, I could probably find out. Give me a second. Let's see. Let's go see if I can find a picture of the car real fast. Maybe I can figure it out. That car was a... Nope, all I see is pictures of the car upside down. Not sure then. If anybody knows, let me know in the chat if you know what kind of car that was. I can't tell from the few pictures I see here on Twitter. As we move forward, it looks like the Bullet Club is now officially a thing in AEW with Switchblade, Jay White, and Juice Robinson. I don't know if they're going to bring in any more Bullet Club members. They can bring Bullet Club members from New Japan. There's a full Bullet Club basically in Impact. They could bring those guys over like Ace Austin and Chris Bay. They can use them as well. But a video package about the Bullet Club, which showed many different Bullet Club members, including the Elite and Cody Rhodes and Adam Cole and stuff, was basically a way for Jay White and Juice to say, we're Bullet Club, but we want to be called the Bang Bang Gang, which is kind of dumb, in my opinion. Like, Bang Bang Gang? That's what? What? Anyways, Robinson asked Ricky Starks how the Blade Runner felt last week, as White said that he's going to claim what is rightfully his, as this is the only beginning. This is Bullet Club Gold. So yeah, Bullet Club in AEW.
Bullet Club is starting to become way too hard to follow now.
Oh, I've said this for a while. They're the NWO/NWO Wolfpack/NWO Japan. Yeah, no. Too many.
I mean, I like the NWO Wolfpack though.
Yeah, but when every week you got 5 new members of the NWO, like you saw with WCW, someone get beat up and next week they're just in the NWO. I don't know.
And like the thing with Jay White though, like they still have him Bullet Club, but when he left New Japan, he got attacked by David Finlay, and David Finlay joined Bullet Club.
He got kicked out of Bullet Club basically. But hey, whatever. It's whatever, really. I've kind of been over Bullet Club for a while now, and they're just adding anybody like Evil. They just add Evil. Like what? Come on.
Evil, Chris Bay.
What's I was saying? They've got.
I think what hurt.
Go for it.
I think what hurt Bullet Club was when the Young Bucks left. That's when people started losing interest in Bullet Club.
Well, yeah. But it's like they've got so many like offshoots now too. They've got like Impact Bullet Club, and now they got the AEW Bullet Club, and so So,
Daniel Price said after AJ left Bullet Club, it got too watered down. Bullet Club was still very popular when Kenny was the leader.
No, I think Bullet Club hit its peak with Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, and the Young Bucks. Because if you think about it, that's when they had all the T-shirts and Hot Topic and stuff, and none of that would have happened without the Young Bucks. Young Bucks are what got that deal rolling for New Japan. So, as we move forward, we had the AEW International Championship on the line. I almost said the All-Atlantic Championship. It's the International Championship. Orange Cassidy defending against Buddy Matthews. I thought they tried to do too much in this match with the whole Orange Cassidy messed up hand thing. Because I don't even know where the messed up hand came from. And I didn't hear them explain it really well. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. But did they even say when Orange messed up his hand? Because I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Yeah, like at one point the doctor's just like, was it a cast or a hand wrap or something? I don't know. But they like pulled the tape or whatever it was off of his hand and then they played into it more. Again, unless you're watching everything, this ain't no sense. And it's like, how many people are really watching Dark and Dark Elevation and Rampage? And now they're going to add another show probably on Saturday. I don't know. I don't get it. And so it's like, if you don't watch everything, you miss so much. So Cassidy used his speed early on with a tilt-a-whirl head scissors, but as he tried for a dive, Matthews quickly cut him off. Cassidy put the hands in his pockets, drop-kicked Matthews to the floor, and then hit a dive, but Matthews caught him with caught him off crossbody on in the inside. Cassidy then countered into a satellite DDT and an orange punch. But Cassidy's hand is taped up, so he couldn't follow up because they had to tell him, hey, you're hurt. Now your hand hurts more? Well, let's let the doctor check on you. And they did. This took way too long and just bored the shit out of me where the doctor's over here checking the hand and this and that. And I'm like, come on. Well, how long has this really got to take? And then Buddy Matthews stomps on the hand and we go to commercial. After the commercial, he blocks the satellite DDT, but Cassidy fought back by driving Matthews repeatedly into the corner buckle. Both men traded super kicks on the apron as Matthews again blocked a DDT, this time responding with a pump knee. Matthews wanted to go for a destroyer, but Cassidy countered into a beach break on the apron. Both men beat the count at 9 and started a forearm battle in the middle of the ring. Matthews went back and after the bad hand, tried to mock the little kicks that Orange Cassidy normally does. He then opted to knee Cassidy flush in the face. Cassidy fought back with a Stun Dog Millionaire and a Superman for a Superman forearm. Cassidy tried a superplex, and Matthews reversed it, but Cassidy countered into a massive avalanche DDT. Cassidy then hit a diving DDT on the floor and a leaping DDT off the top for a 2. Cassidy then tried the orange punch. Matthews hit a pump knee and attempted the Murphy's Law, only for Cassidy to get the orange punch for a near fall. Matthews then dared Cassidy to punch him, and he sucker punched Cassidy with a knee, suckered him in with a knee, pumping knee. Cassidy dared Matthews to do it again. Matthews blocked the orange punch and hit a curb stomp for a 2. He tried to go for the Murphy's Law, but Cassidy got the mousetrap flash pin, bing, bang, boom, picked up the victory. So there we go. Orange Cassidy retains the title.
Another useless.
Yeah.
What's the title?
International.
Yes, another useless international title match.
Jordan says he hurt his hand on Rampage, I think. See, you're not even for sure. So yeah, this was an okay match. Go for it.
I will say, when they first announced this match, I thought they were gonna have Malachi Black challenge for that belt. And I was like, oh no. They better not. They were gonna have Malachi lose to Orange, but I'm glad it's Buddy and not Malachi Black.
Right. So we go to the back, and Ricky Paquette is with best friends in Orange Cassidy, as Trent said that Cassidy was fine and will continue to defend the title. Trent said he and Chuck are a little jealous And then they challenged Aussie Open to a IWGP Tag Team title match on Rampage Friday. Again, you've got your own belts, yet you got to use all this other random ass shit. Like you got to use the New Japan tag belts. How about we focus on AEW and AEW tag titles and AEW wrestlers on an AEW show? It's cool sometimes to see the outside guys, but we don't need it as often as we actually get it. I don't know if you feel the same or different.
I feel the same way. Because, like, I don't know. It's just, like, what do they do to earn that title shot? They're saying, like,
Nothing.
hey, we want your belts and come over here. Like, we won't go to you guys. You just got to come over to us.
Yep.
Like, when's AEW just going to be like, all right, we'll fly some of our guys to Japan so you guys can use them?
Well,
It's too much. It's too much. Like why don't New Japan fly their guys out for an episode of Dynamite?
So I was thinking, when was the last time we saw an AEW guy work New Japan? Was it Lance Archer? Well, not other than Kenny and FTR at Wrestle Kingdom. What, Lance Archer last year in the G1 maybe? I think is the last time they sent anybody over there, other than for a Wrestle Kingdom. But as we move forward, Ethan Page is in the ring, talking about some rough patches in the firm. He said that they've been going through some interesting things over the last couple of weeks. Page then demands to know why Matt Hardy hit him with the FTW Championship last week and demands to know what Hardy put in the contract. Hardy and Isaiah then come out and said that Page should have read the contract in the fine print. Hardy said that he manipulated Page, as the contract said that if Hook beats Page, then Hardy and Private Party are no longer under the, I guess you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? He used the big word that I can't remember now. Under the, they don't have control of them anymore. I'll just say that. We'll poke your pig it. A beat, but that's all. Anyways, Hardy then said that they also get to pick a match and stipulation if they win, and they'll no longer be in the firm. Hardy absolutely contradicted himself here, as I don't know what's really going on. I guess they're just trying to get out of the... I don't know. This is kind of weird, but whatever. So Hook comes out after Page and the firm attack. You had Big Bill and Lee Moriarty run out. Hook makes the save, but the numbers are still in the advantage of the firm, when then all of a sudden, out would come the return of Jeffrey Nero Hardy. Yeah, boy. Out would come Jeff Hardy to save the day. Jeff Hardy makes his way out, and he clears house with a steel chair. Cool. He hits a, let's see, there's a twist of fate on Lee Moriarty, and then a big old swanton bomb, and a huge reaction for the Hardys. Yeah, from the crowd. So Jeff Hardy's back. He's working. Cool. I mean, it really did not much for me. But I really have no reaction to it. What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't really have much to say about it. I mean, I didn't really expect Jeff to be back already. So, yeah.
So Jeff's whole legal stuff was cleared up. But then Matt said last week Jeff had eye surgery, but Jeff's cool. Cleared, ready to go. Because he worked. He got physical, so we know he's cleared and ready to go. But I don't know. It's not like they've been doing anything really all that great with Matt that's going to get me super hyped for Jeff. That's probably why I feel so down on it. Because what has Matt really been doing? Some stupid comedy stuff with Ethan Page? You know? So.
Basically.
Yeah. That's why I'm like.
Well, even before that, even before they brought in Jeff, he was basically doing comedy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think Matt wanted Jeff in AEW so bad? Because he probably wanted to stop doing comedy stuff.
Right. He wanted to be the Hardy Boys. So it's like, okay, what are they going to do now? Matt and Jeff are going to take Private Party under their wing and like mentor them? Maybe. I don't know. I got no high hopes for it because we haven't seen anything great from them and Matt Hardy recently. It's just more random ass people to use on television in meaningless things. I mean, I get it. At least Matt was doing something that was like a storyline that made sense, but it wasn't like great. But at least it was something, I guess you can say. There's a lot of people on this show that just get randomly used. So we have a video with Kenny Omega. He has comments from his home after being attacked by the Blackpool Combat Club. Omega thanks the doctors for helping him out and said that he understands why the BCC did what they did. They wanted to make headlines. Omega said, what he takes personal is what they did to Don Callis, though. While Callis might not be all that likable, Omega still calls Callis family. He said, this isn't blood for blood. Whenever Omega sees them next, it'll be much worse. Do you have any comments on Kenny's thing, or?
Not really, no.
Because that literally leads into the next thing. Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli against Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa. Not really much to talk about for the match here other than they just beat the crap out of Nakazawa and Cutler. Like they just...
It's a freaking bloodbath, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They beat the crap.
Cutler, Nakazawa got the shit beaten out of them.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Rick Knox started the match as Nakazawa crawled into the ring because they already got their ass beats before the match even started. Claudio then steamrolls him with a clothesline, giant swing. Claudio got a sharpshooter applied as a bloodied Cutler rolled in the ring and tried to break it up. Nakazawa backdropped free from a pile driver attempt as Cutler made a hot tag. And before he really did anything, got knocked down. There's a King Kong lariat that connected, followed by a Death Rider as Moxley and Claudio brutally beat him down even more. And then eventually the ref just stopped it. Just stopped it. Moxley then took the mic and said that the Elite and Don Callis had glass jaws. And then Kenny's music would hit. Kenny would walk out from the back. While the BCC's attention turned, we then see the Young Bucks arrive in the ring to a huge ovation from the crowd and a big old brawl. The Young Bucks laid out Moxley with the BTE trigger as Omega slid in a toolbox. As he was about to clock Moxley until Matt Jackson stopped him and said, hey, screwdriver. Moxley spit in Matt's face and dared Omega to do it as Claudio pulled him free and the BCC retreated. So we didn't get it yet, but I think maybe eventually they used the screwdriver on the BCC. Also interesting, no Danielson.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Nope. Where the heck is Danielson at?
No clue. What did you think of the brawl and them almost using the screwdriver on Moxley?
I don't know. It's gonna lead to something, but my guess is it's probably gonna lead to an eight man like tornado tag at Double or Nothing.
Anarchy in the arena.
Oh yeah, but the question is, like, who are the other two that are gonna team with Kenny and Hangman?
Well, I think they'll say the Bucks are cleared by then, or cleared enough. Hey, you gotta remember, Tony Khan will let people work hurt. So even if they'll get them, I think, cleared enough to work the match. Especially since it's like a big brawl type match. If that's what they actually do, they can hide them and like keep them safe and not having to do too much. Nick's fine. It's all Matt.
Well, hopefully, like, none of them like do anything that can get them like hurt and be out even longer.
Right. Because I think the Nick shoulder thing is
my only biggest
storyline.
concern with it.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure the Matt injury is real, not super severe, and the Nick shoulder thing is storyline. So that way that's how they wrote him off for a couple weeks. So in the back, Tony Schiavone's with Swerve Strickland, Brian Cage, and Prince Nana, who said Darby's success is a testament to everything Strickland taught him. Taught him in the Mogul Embassy. So they're calling it the Mogul Embassy now. He said the embassy's getting bigger day by day, as they aren't done yet tonight. He said they still have another score to settle, which we learn what that is later. And then we had a whatever match. It was the women's tag. It was Tony Storm and Ruby Soho against Riho and Sky Blue. And a lot of this match, honestly, took place during the picture-in-picture that I didn't see because I was watching on the TBS app. So maybe it was better than what I saw. But what I saw wasn't all that great. And I see Luke over here saying, no, I didn't miss anything, basically. He's over here shaking his head. So
He didn't miss much.
Soho and Storm attacked at the bell as Blue fought back with the head scissors and a low enziguri on Storm. Also, congratulations to Sky Blue on getting signed full-time to AEW. Soho and Riho both...
I didn't realize she wasn't even signed.
Oh, a lot of people didn't realize. But yeah, she's been on a per-appearance deal.
That's a perfect example of just someone just patiently waiting to get signed somewhere. Like when they were like just working there, like not even signed.
And she's on the show.
Perfect example.
And she's on like almost every Dynamite, or at least most Dynamites. She's on Dark Elevation almost every other week. So it's like she's working more than some of these people signed. Yet she was not... I don't know. That's a whole other thing. She's working like a full-timer on a part-timer deal. Anyways, Soho and Riho both entered, and Soho was quickly sent to the outside as Riho used Blue for the assisted crossbody to the floor. The tide turned during a commercial break that I didn't see. They told us that the heels took over during the break. The match briefly broke down at one point, with Riho hitting a Cazadora double stomp on Soho. But then she ate a thrust kick from Toni Storm. Riho had Soho in a crucifix, with Sky Blue hitting a thrust kick of her own. Riho was sent to the outside by Storm, who hit a German suplex and a sweet cheek music. She then hit the Storm Zero in succession on Blue to get the victory. After the match, Riho continued to fight, but was beaten down with the numbers of the Outcast, who sprayed a big L on her belly. And then they dropped her with a triple power bomb. Jamie Hayter then ran out to make the save. A little too late. And she was swarmed, only for Britt Baker to also run out, and she laid out Soho and Storm on the ramp. There was a slugfest that ensued between Baker and Saraya before Baker used the curb stomp. But she didn't really hit the curb stomp because Saraya was pulled out of the ring at the last moment. So there we go. What'd you think of the match and the post-match brawl?
I mean, the match, nothing much really happened. They've been doing the same stuff for the women like the past 4 weeks. Like the heels are beating up the baby faces, then all of a sudden Jamie Hayter comes out to make the save.
Yeah. And then go for it.
So it's like, all right, we know it's probably gonna be blood and guts match, but like, who's gonna be on which team, basically?
So the Outcast would need one more, and you can, I guess, do Britt, Jamie, Sky Blue, and Riho, and then they add one more heel. I don't know, but they are doing the tag match next week. They're doing Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker against Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. So cool. Other things announced coming up on a Rampage. We have Jungle Boy taking on Sean Spears. Awesome seeing Sean Spears coming back. Haven't seen him in a while. Aussie Open will be defending the IWGP Tag Team titles against Best Friends. We will hear from the new AEW Tag Team Champions in FTR. Taya Valkyrie will take on Emi Sakura. Mark Briscoe, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh will all be in action, which is kind of weird. Why are they lumping Mark Briscoe in with Jeff Jarrett? Did I miss something there? I don't know. We'll also hear from 2.0, Matt Menard, and Angela Parker. Also, speaking of next week, we got that women's tag, and the TNT Championship will be on the line when Powerhouse Hobbs defends against Wardlow. And we move on to our main event. This is Chris Jericho against Keith Lee. And I'm just going to say it.
Keith Lee looks old.
Well, yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but I was just going to say this match was just all right. Like, this wasn't a bad match, but it's like, I get what they were doing here. This is supposed to build bigger things with Keith Lee and Swerve and whatnot, and Adam Cole and the JAS. So it's like, this match wasn't really about Jericho versus Keith Lee. It was more about building things for Jericho going forward and building things for Keith Lee going forward, if I'm thinking correctly here. So Jericho tried a shoulder. This is great, actually. Jericho tried a shoulder tackle, and in result, Lee no-selled it and knocked Jericho over. And Jericho got this look on his face like, oh, man. This is going to be tougher than I thought. Like a little scared, well, that's a big, thick boy. That's not good. He looked a little embarrassed there, too. He ate some punches and avoided a huge double hand chop. Might have worked the first time, but not the second, as Lee hit his chop in a charging corner splash. Lee went to the ropes, but Garcia distracted the ref long enough for Jericho to connect with a springboard corner drop kick. Jericho controlled the action during the entire commercial break, they said, getting his revenge and so forth. After the commercial, Lee was tripped up by Garcia long enough to distract him, as Lee and Jericho seemed to be on different pages momentarily before Jericho was pounced across the ring. Lee took a long time to follow up, tried a moonsault, but then Jericho got the knees up. In doing so, Jericho hurt his own knee and was press slammed by Lee for a 2. Jericho got an eye rake and locked in the walls of Jericho, but Lee did power out. Lee locked Jericho in an clocked Jericho with the overhead chop and a heel. But as he tried for the finish, Jericho grabbed referee Aubrey Edwards long enough for Garcia to get him free from the hold. Lee then dumped Garcia, who ate a double clothesline from Jericho. Lee then powered out of a code breaker attempt and countered into a massive powerbomb. Garcia again took the ref, and this was like the 5th time we've seen this. And this actually led to a masked Swerve Strickland coming out and clobbering Keith Lee in the back of the head with some sort of an object. Jericho then just draped an arm over a downed Keith Lee and got the pin 1, 2, 3. Not much happened in the post-match, but there was a little post-match. Adam Cole's music hit immediately as he walked down. Keith Lee was like knelt down at ringside, so Adam Cole checked on him. And this is exactly what Jericho did for Garcia a few weeks ago after he took on Adam Cole. He's basically doing the whole thing. Like, Jericho came and checked on Garcia. Now Cole's coming and checking on Keith Lee. Cole then gave a slight glance to Jericho, and the show went off the air. Cool. Not a bad match, but it's like, They're building up more Keith Lee and Swerve, and they're just further building Adam Cole and Chris Jericho for wherever that's going to be. What'd you think of all the main event stuff?
Main event was solid, but I'd say they'll probably do Adam Cole versus Jericho at Double or Nothing.
Very good chance.
Which will be a while.
Yeah. Slow build.
It'll be a while.
I mean, they could always go for it.
And same for, I'd say maybe same for Swerve and Keith Lee. They'll probably do that Double or Nothing.
I mean, I can see maybe next week get the announcement of Adam Cole and Keith Lee against Jericho and Garcia in a tag match. Maybe next week or the week after. Or Keith
maybe
Lee.
Swerve like screws over Keith Lee and that cost them the match.
Or Keith Lee versus Garcia. Some sort of connection. I don't know. They got some stuff here that they can work off of. That's what I did appreciate about this. This wasn't just a random main event like we see sometimes. This actually was building further things and giving options for more matches they can do leading up to the pay-per-view. So in that regard, I did like the main event because of what it's building towards. But with that is everything that did take place tonight on AEW Dynamite. So with that, you know what we thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Dynamite. As far as all the polls do go, let's refresh these. Let's go boom there. Let's go here. So as far as the Twitch poll does go, 83% liked the show, 17% did not like it. As far as the Twitter poll does go, 68% liked the show, 18% thought it was just all right, and 12% didn't like the show. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 57% liked it, 26% thought it was just all right, and 17% didn't like the show. Some of the comments here said, honestly, the Outcast really do feel like Riot Squad 2.0. I said that, I think, last week or the week before. It's just what they are. Person says, I watched it tonight with Jeff Hardy coming back. Glad he's back again. The person says, cool to see Jeff Hardy back. This person says, opening match was great. Everything else was a yawn fest.
I can see that.
And looking at some of the other comments here, looking at the YouTube live poll, 61% liked the show, 21% thought it was just all right, and 16% did not like it. So with that, guys, that's going to wrap everything up here. Thank you for joining us here, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Luke, tell Tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter at Petke_21, and you can also find me over at Twitch at TheLukePetke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. Have a great Thursday. Have a great rest of your week. I'll be back Friday morning for the wrestling wrap-up, and then Friday evening for Friday Night SmackDown. So with that, have a good one, guys, and we'll see you next time.